Live from WRAL News headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Temperatures on the rise this week. We'll show you when and how often we hit 90 degrees, but in the meantime, just how long we get to enjoy this low humidity. That's coming up.
And searching for suspects. One person killed, 11 others were hurt in a mass shooting in Catawba County, where that investigation stands this morning.
And improperly stored guns. More firearms have been seized recently at RDU, where you're looking live this morning. The update we expect today from TSA. A lot of stories that we are covering on this Monday morning. Thanks so much for joining us here on WRAL News on Fox 50. I'm Chris Lovingood.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. And one of the bigger stories is that Chris Lovingood is back. Welcome back. Congratulations. You are a father. You are a dad.
I'm a daddy.
To a beautiful, beautiful baby boy. We'll talk about all of that coming up. But first, let's talk about the weather. Meteorologist Chris Michaels out on the WRAL weather patio. Feeling so nice out there this morning.
Yeah, really happy to have this assignment, to be out here on the patio. Every now and then a little breeze blows through and just makes things feel really good. Right on cue. It's actually moving through. All right, live look at Apex, and we see some of that haze and blue sky mix. The air quality is fine. Out the door, temperatures running in the upper 50s and lower 60s. Any kind of scattered storms we had over the weekend, they're out of here. Cold front has passed through and really cleaned up the air a little bit. So this combination right here, you want to take advantage of it. The warm air, the sunshine, and the low humidity. That's what we've got this afternoon. Temperatures in the triangle, upper 70s and lower 80s. The Sandhills in the low to mid 80s. High pressure is going to hold on tightly to our weather, and eventually that means some hotter air in the forecast. We'll show you how long we see 90-degree heat coming up in just a bit. Ken?
All right, Chris, happening now in the WRAL traffic center. We just got reports of Raleigh police working this crash on Newbern Avenue in the eastbound lanes, I should say, near New Hope Road. We're not seeing any delays in the area, but just watch some police activities. That's part of your morning commute. Boy, as we isolate the Beltline this morning, you can see the congestion building on the southern loop of the Beltline, as well as the northern loop coming off that I-87 southbound lane, so you can run into that as well. We're also seeing heavy congestion between Arundel Avenue there in Zebulon and Lizard Lick Road. In terms of checking the sensors of what you're about to do, if you're heading out and the delays you're about to see, you're looking at an 8-minute delay. That was in double digits a little while ago, so things are definitely getting better. Just remember, you have Highway 97 as an alternate route. We talked about the delays on the southern loop of the Beltline. Those are the westbound lanes moving away from us, the bumper traffic. Things getting a little better on the northern loop, even though you're seeing traffic is moving, but it's moving at a slow, steady clip this morning. In terms of other major routes coming into the capital city, here's what you're looking at. You're looking at a 6-minute delay off Fence there in Wake Forest, coming down in US 1, if you will. Over in the Bull City, very little to no delays. You just have that 6-minute delay if you're heading west on I-40 this morning. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
This morning, we're following the search for suspects because of a mass shooting at a house party near Hickory. Here's what we know so far. Investigators say 58-year-old Sean Hood was killed and 11 other people were hurt. At last check, 7 people are still in the hospital. They were either shot or suffered injuries from being trampled while trying to escape. Authorities say the investigation, it's complicated. We're talking about a scene spanning more than 2 acres with at least 80 shell casings. Plus, many people at that party are from outside the area. A lot of moving parts here. WRAL spoke with the owner of the home. David Tolbert said that his daughter Sabrina, quote, hired a young man to provide security at the party. Neighbors shared what they heard unfold early yesterday morning.
As ambulances and emergency vehicles started to arrive, we could hear people, saying, hey, over here. And, when the police arrived, we could hear them telling people to get on the ground.
Now, deputies say they believe there were multiple shooters in this case, and they were called to that party just 2 hours before the shooting. That was for a noise complaint, but no arrests have been made, not yet.
This morning, a man is in custody after an attack in Boulder, Colorado. 8 people were hurt in what the FBI is calling a targeted terror attack. Police arrested 45-year-old Mohammed Solomon. They say he yelled "Free Palestine" during the attack while using an incendiary device to throw flames at a group of pro-Israel protesters. Brooke Kaufman witnessed the attack, called 911, and ran to help the people who were hurt.
There was that lady that was rolling around on the ground. She was wrapped in a flag, and I could not even make out her face. It looked like a lot of her hair. Sorry, I don't want to be gruesome.
The victims range in age from 67 to 88. The injuries run from minor to serious. Officials believe Solomon acted alone.
Today, we expect to learn about a recent increase in people trying to take guns through security checkpoints at the airport. That's actually where we find WRAL's Kelsey Coffey at RDU this morning. Kelsey, the TSA plans to share more information about how these cases affect travelers.
Yes, Chris, we're expecting to hear more about that in the next couple of hours. But you can see that there are some folks here in the TSA checkpoint right now. Guns are clearly listed as a prohibited item before you go through security. This morning, we're asking for an update on how many guns were found and how TSA is working to keep you safe. Just as a reminder, people can travel with guns, but there are some rules. So they must be unloaded and locked in a hard-sided case inside a checked bag. You also have to tell your airline that you have a gun at the check-in counter. We reported about firearms at TSA checkpoints back in January. So here's a number from 2024. North Carolina TSA officers found 250 firearms at an airport statewide. That's 12 more than what was found the year before. So today we'll ask TSA officials how many guns have been found here at RDU, and we're expecting to get that update around 9:30 this morning. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live at RDU.
The driver accused of intentionally causing a head-on crash on a busy Raleigh road is set to appear in court today. Anderson Singleton is charged with 3 counts of assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill, among other charges. Take a look at this dash cam video shared with us. You can see Singleton's car crash head-on with another car on Rock Quarry Road. Singleton's wife, who was in the passenger seat of his car, and a man in the passenger seat of the other car were both taken to the hospital with serious injuries.
Teachers and parents in Edgecombe County will gather for a rally this afternoon. That's in support of a county budget proposal. This proposal includes investments for schools. And the Edgecombe County Association of Educators say that the district's proposal includes higher pay for faculty and staff, and it also includes investments toward repairs at district facilities. The Board of Commissioners will discuss the budget at tonight's meeting. That is at 6 o'clock at the County Administration Building. And the rally will be from 4:30 to 6:30 at the same place.
The soccer tournament gets started in Cary this week, and today we'll hear from several of the players ahead of their first games. WRAL's Laura Levine is at Wake Med Soccer Park this morning. Laura, thousands of people are expected to visit the Triangle for this huge competition.
Wake Med Soccer Park is preparing to welcome huge crowds here this week. We know that once these gates open here behind me, it's game on and a $1 million prize on the line. Take a look at some of the action from previous years here. The event features music, food, games, exclusive meet and greets, celebrities, and 134 game-winning goals over 6 days. The TST generates about $9.2 million in economic impact for our area. TST part owner and San Antonio Spurs point guard Chris Paul tells us this year we can expect tons of competition.
It's just exciting to see with all the different fields and all the people showing up, and it's very festival style. And this year we'll have 134 matches, 64 teams, and it's nothing like seeing those teams score that last goal to know that they won $1 million.
It is certainly a big week ahead. A lot of people looking forward to also see the NC Courage on Wednesday. They took second place last year, but we'll see who takes it all this year. It all kicks off on Wednesday. Laura Levine, WRAL News in Cary.
Your homeowner's insurance is going up. The average North Carolinian will pay roughly $243 more every year. Now, as we entered June, a 7.5% statewide base rate increase went into effect. It's far less than the 42.2% jump the North Carolina Rate Bureau initially requested, but still a bit of a shock for some homeowners. In Raleigh, the increase puts average annual premiums north of $3,400, according to Guardian, and that's still less than the statewide average. Price increases hit the hardest for families still rebuilding from storms such as Hurricane Helene.
We're inland enough that we're not right on the coast, and we're far enough away from the mountains again. So it's like we're kind of in between. But at the end of the day, it's still expensive.
Coastal counties will feel the biggest change, up to 16% in fact this year, and almost 16% again next year. Another round of rate hikes is scheduled for next summer.
Crews in Raleigh are preparing to shut down a downtown street for the next few weeks. East Morgan Street between Wilmington Street and Blunt Street will be shut down from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. every day from now until June 27th. They're working on a water and sewer project. Officials encourage all drivers to be cautious of work crews and signs. Water and sewer services are not expected to be impacted or disrupted during this project. A detour is in place if you plan to travel through that area.
Make your voice heard at today's Durham County Board of Commissioners work session. You can share thoughts on the budget during their open hearing today. And that meeting is scheduled to start at 9 a.m. in the Commissioners' Chambers. That's on East Main Street in Durham, if you're familiar.
And troopers caught on camera months ago not telling the truth about a chase where the suspect crashed and died.
I wouldn't mention anything to them about you tried to stop him.
No, I won't.
That crash happened 7 months ago, yet the troopers are still on leave pending an internal investigation. Tonight at 6, WRAL Investigates asks what's taking so long with the lie caught on camera, seeking accountability. That's tonight at 6. And next up for us this morning, wildfires in Canada. Smoke from the fires are causing hazy conditions here today. The hazardous air quality impacts in other states this morning.
And closing the park. Lake Crabtree County Park is officially closed this morning. We're going to give you a look at how mountain bikers enjoyed that space for the last time.
And a cold front swept through the area, making room for some much less humid air. We're going to show you how long that lasts coming up. 8:14 this morning, starting out with a live look over downtown Raleigh and that hazy sunshine overhead, but it still feels good. 62 the current temperature, and with the dew point in the low 50s, means there's not a whole lot of moisture in the air, so it's not very sticky. Our midday temperatures today make it into the mid 70s with high temperatures at least closer to average. Your forecast is in the orange, your average is in the red, and so highs today mainly in the low 80s. Your average is in the mid 80s. We're splitting hairs there. But again, the key to today's weather is just how pleasant things are going to feel in tandem with that warmth, the humidity nice and low, and we've got plenty of sunshine out there as well. Humidity levels will start to climb a little bit on the muggy meter heading later in the week. We'll show you if that means more showers and storms coming up in less than 5 minutes. Ken?
All right, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. Boy, the southern loop of the Beltline, we're seeing a real delay on I-40 and Lake Wheel Road. Those are the westbound lanes moving away from us this morning. In terms of other routes connected to I-40, that's the 6-minute delay we just showed you between Capitol Boulevard and getting to the Beltline and I-40 westbound. Really and truly, if you're coming in from Johnston County, no delays whatsoever. You're trying to get to Durham through Wade Avenue, you're looking at a 5-minute delay. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Always take us with you on the go. Thanks, Ken. Ukrainian and Russian leaders met in Istanbul this morning for another round of peace talks. Now, the first round of talks ended with a prisoner exchange, but no agreement on how to stop the war. In terms of progress being made this time, not much was expected. And this is especially because Ukraine claims it carried out strikes against more than 40 Russian bombers deep into the Russian territory. Russia also launched a drone operation to overwhelm Ukrainian defenses.
The Israeli military hit a residential area in Gaza City. Yesterday's strike comes after another attack near an aid distribution point left dozens of Palestinians dead. Witnesses say a tank fired on Palestinians crowding around an aid distribution center near Rafah. Gaza's health ministry says 31 people were killed, 170 others were hurt. The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, which was distributing the aid, denies the claims. It says 16 trucks of food were delivered without incident.
Police in Tulsa, Oklahoma shot and killed someone after they say he ambushed first responders. Police say the first responders were treating a jogger who was shot in the leg, and that's when a man appeared behind a fire truck and shot at them before taking off. Police chased him to a nearby neighborhood before the suspect started shooting again, and the officer shot back. They killed him. No first responders were injured, and the jogger is expected to live.
June is CPR and AED Awareness Month. If you don't know how to do CPR, now is a good time to learn. You never know when an emergency could happen. First, check the person's pulse and see if they're breathing. If you don't notice any activity, begin CPR right away. It's recommended to do 100 to 120 chest compressions per minute. Make sure you're pushing fast and hard, and mouth-to-mouth resuscitation is not necessary. If an AED device is is available, you could consider using that as well.
This morning, 136 acres of local parkland, it's officially closed. Hundreds of mountain bikers went out to Lake Crabtree County Park yesterday before the closure. RDU leased this land to Wake County for $1 a year for public use, and RDU says the terms of the lease no longer comply with federal regulations. Those require the airport authority to charge fair market value for the land. That lease is set to expire on June 30th, and advocates for the park are pushing for a different outcome.
I think they should just come out and see the beauty of this place and see how many people rely on this place and how many people enjoy this place every day. It's a great place, and it would really suck for it to just be a bunch of concrete.
The exact plans for this place aren't set in stone, but early plans from RDU say it will be an entertainment district. Wake County says it intends to build new bike trails nearby to help make up for the loss.
Cumberland County Schools is launching its summer's meal program today, Monday through Thursdays this month. The school district will offer free meals for kids under 18. Officials say no registration or income requirement to get a meal, but it is first come, first serve, and the meal has to be eaten at the location. A list of the meal sites across the district can be found on the Cumberland County Schools website.
The Hope Mills Board of Commissioners will recognize National Gun Violence Awareness Day at its meeting tonight. The day is usually observed on the first Friday in June. The town commissioners will also hold a hearing on its proposed budget for the next fiscal year, and that meeting starts at 6 and will be held at Town Hall.
Parts of the U.S. were able to get a look at the northern lights in the early hours this morning and yesterday. This video was captured in Victor, Idaho. You can see the vibrant greens, purples, and pinks. Wow, that is beautiful. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, strong geomagnetic storm conditions triggered the awesome sight farther south than normal.
Massive wildfires in Canada are sending hazardous smoke toward major cities in the United States. Nearly the entire state of Minnesota is under an air quality alert, and this same situation happened 2 summers ago. This EarthCam time-lapse video from June of 2023 shows the New York City skyline disappearing in heavy smoke because of wildfires in Canada. The air quality then was considered hazardous. And it's really a big topic today story-wise. You may have seen last night the sunset had that hazy look to it. This morning, sunrise even so. Chris Michaels has been tracking that from the WRAL weather patio.
Yeah, and some of your pictures really showcasing that perfectly. This is from Catalina Fudoli in Cary, and you can see through the power lines there just how filtered, kind of eerie the sunset looked in Cary yesterday evening. Now, we are tracking that smoke as it's coming down from the north and west, and what it's doing is it's not necessarily reducing our air quality, but it is adding a little bit of haze to the sky as we go throughout the day today. So it's going to continue to do that, kind of filter out the sunshine from time to time, but it doesn't necessarily get in the way of how comfortable things are going to feel as we go throughout the day today. So again, that's what's coming in from the north and west as we go through the next little bit. Having a hard time connecting to our iPad here to get the weather graphics going. I promise you we're not going to talk about smoke for 2 minutes, but it looks like, unfortunately, guys, we have lost connection with our graphic system. Enjoy the day today. When we come back in a little bit, I'll show you when the heat and the humidity make a comeback, at which point we'll see some haze, but it won't be due to that smoke. Guys, back to you.
All right, Chris, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. Let's start with this. We're seeing this usual slowdown that we're heading right there between Arundel Avenue there in Zebulon and Lizard Lake Road. We've been checking the sensors. You're looking at a 10 to 15 minute delay in that particular area. This is where it's really seeing a lot of congestion. This is I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road, the southern loop of the Beltline. You can see the bumper-to-bumper traffic this morning. So definitely give yourself some extra time if that's part of your morning commute. I'll look at the delay times coming up in just a second here. The northern loop of the Beltline looks like a little better. Congestion is easing just a bit. This is I-440 and New Bern Avenue. These are the westbound lanes moving away from us. Of course, the eastbound lane coming toward us this morning. So if you're coming in from Garner, Johnston County, maybe you might want to take the northern loop of the Beltline just to be on the safe side. You're coming in from Johnston County, you're not having any trouble. You're coming in so from Highway 42 all the way up to I-40. That southern loop of the Beltline, even though you saw that congestion and that congested traffic there in that southern loop of the Beltline, it's moving, so you're just looking at a 2-minute delay. The situation being, though, on I-40 westbound, you're taking Wade Avenue, between Wade Avenue and I-540 interchange, you're looking at a 4-minute delay. So just keep that in mind. You're about to head out and you're making your time. And let's go ahead and get back to Chris Michaels out on the WRAL weather patio. He's got some more of your forecast.
Yeah, thankfully technology now working in our favor. It just froze up a little bit. I think a lot of us want to skip work on a Monday, right? That iPad doing the same thing. Upper 70s, lower 80s this afternoon. Plenty of sunshine out there. High pressure is going to be our next weather maker as we go through the next several days. And it's going to keep us sunny and warm, and it's going to keep our storm chances away. So if you want to get some chores done outside between now and Thursday, perfect weather for that. Maybe a few storms by Friday. So appreciate you guys bearing with me as we get you to your 7-day forecast. We'll go from 50s tomorrow morning to mid 80s by the afternoon. And there you see that warm up through the rest of the week. By the weekend, definitely feeling like June. Our high temperatures upper 80s and lower 90s, and the scattered storms starting to make a comeback to the forecast. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right. Thank you so much, Chris. Still ahead, guns at RDU. Today, we expect to learn new details about an increase in gun seizures at checkpoints, how these incidents impact other travelers.
And a search for shooters. This morning, investigators looking for the people responsible for a deadly mass shooting in Catawba County.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Happy Monday. Happy June. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. Let's get right outside to meteorologist Chris Michaels on the WRAL weather patio. A gorgeous start to our week.
Yeah, I'll take this weather on a June day any day of the week. Right now, starting out in the low 60s. Nice little bit of sunshine and low humidity outside here on the WRAL Azalea Gardens. Heading into the afternoon, temperatures will naturally rise. Plenty of sunshine, humidity staying low. I'm sure it'll do you both good for you and the dog to take a walk. Temperatures peaking in the low 80s. This, our next weather maker, high pressure brings in more warmth, eventually more humidity. We'll show you when that and storm chances return over on Fox 50. Ken?
All right, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. Let's take a spin around the Beltline, starting with the southern loop of the Beltline. You're looking at those westbound lanes, the bumper-to-bumper traffic going there. The northern loop, things look a little better on I-440 and New Bern Avenue. The westbound lanes moving away from us. You're coming in from Garner, maybe Johnston County. You might want to consider taking the northern loop of the Beltline just to be on the safe side in terms of to save you some time. As far as the other major routes coming into the capital city, you're just looking at a 4-minute delay if you're coming in from Wake Forest. Over in the Durham, you're heading west on I-40 to get to Durham this morning. You're looking like a 20-minute delay, so keep that in mind. It's about to head out.
Thanks, Ken. Authorities are looking for a suspect in Catawba County mass shooting. One man was killed, 11 others were hurt in the Sunday morning shooting. The victim has been identified as 58-year-old Sean Hood of Lenore. Authorities say there were multiple shooters. And TSA officials providing an update today after they say there was an uptick in guns found at RDU security checkpoints. They reported 250 guns found, 250 firearms in 2024, 12 more than the previous year. Flyers are allowed to travel with guns, but there are certain rules you need to know. We'll have more news.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Still no arrests. More than a day later, investigators are searching for the gunman in a mass shooting in Catawba County. What we're learning about the victims and the moments leading up to the gunfire.
And a nice break this morning in the humidity and in the storm chances. We'll show you how long that lasts prior to the return of 90-degree heat coming up shortly.
And guns at RDU. TSA agents catching more travelers bringing firearms through security. The new concerns we expect to learn more about later today. We have that story and so much more to get you caught up on your Monday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
And I'm Chris Lumga. It's been a while, but I'm back. Happy to be back.
We're happy to have you back.
And I'm happy to be here, seeing all of you, my colleagues, as well as Chris Michaels. And we can now continue quoting SpongeBob off air.
You know, I missed that, but I knew that you were carrying the torch on leave over the course of the past few weeks. Starting out nice and calm right now, nice and comfy in terms of the muggy meter. That's nice and low. As you're taking your cup of coffee out this morning, maybe going for seconds, don't blame you. It's a Monday. We're starting out in the low 60s. By midday, still plenty of sunshine and temperatures in the middle 70s with highs looking a little something like this, right in the sweet spot. High 78 to 82, Sanford at 80 degrees, ditto for Durham. Again, plenty of sunshine, a little bit of haze out there. Air air quality is good, though, especially as some of that smoke from the Canadian fires goes down to the south a little bit. So we'll show you if that continues. Also show you when the heat and humidity makes a comeback in your complete forecast coming up shortly. Ken?
All right, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We've got a handful of crashes dotting on live traffic sensors this morning, but none really affecting your morning commute. What's really affecting your morning commute? The usual congestion that we see in the southern loop of the Beltline, even over in Cary, and those eastbound lanes coming in from Cary, as well as the northern loop as well. You can see a whole lot of yellow and red showing up. The real congestion is to the east of Raleigh between Highway 96, Rindle Avenue, if you will, there in Zebulon and Lizard Lick Road. In terms of what you're about to face, if you're getting ready to head out the door this morning, you're looking at an 11-minute delay between Rindle Avenue and Nightdale Boulevard. So keep that in mind as you're about to head out. Let's take a look at the southern loop of the Beltline. Those are the westbound lanes moving away from us this morning. You can see that congestion that we talked about. Things will get a little better on the northern loop of the Beltline as we look at I-440 and New Bern Avenue. As far as other major routes coming into the capital city, here's what you're looking at. Very little to no delays just up Finns and Wake Forest. You're looking at a 4-minute delay. We're seeing a lot of congestion between the Cary-Harrison exit and Airport Boulevard, and that's why you're looking at a 19-minute delay if you're heading west to head to Durham this morning. You're getting ready to head out the door. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
More than 24 hours after a house party turned into a mass shooting, authorities are looking for the shooters. And here's what we know this morning about this case in Catawba County. One man was killed and 11 others were injured. The victim was identified as 58-year-old Sean Hood of Lenore. Authorities say multiple shooters opened fire at that party near Hickory, and 80 shell casings were left behind across 2 acres. WRAL spoke with the owner of the home. David Tolbert says that his daughter Sabrina, quote, had hired a young man to provide security at the party. Officials say deputies were called to that party just 2 hours before the shooting for a noise complaint. And the sheriff's office, as well as SBI and FBI agents, were still on scene last night.
The people of North Carolina should be able to enjoy a spring evening.
7 people are still in the hospital, and some of them were shot while others were hurt while trying to escape. Anyone with information about this case is urged to dial 911 or reach out to the FBI.
8 people are hurt in what the FBI is calling a targeted terror attack in Boulder, Colorado. Police arrested 45-year-old Mohammed Solomon. They say he used a makeshift flamethrower to attack people participating in a peaceful pro-Israel demonstration. They say he yelled "Free Palestine" during the attack. Witnesses of the attack say they were shaken up by the whole ordeal.
But he was just screaming, and he had like a container or like a glass with gasoline in it, I'm assuming, and he was just kind of holding that, waving around, and I was also just thinking like, oh my God, I don't know what he's gonna do next.
The victims range in age from 67 to 88, and the injuries run from minor to serious. Officials believe Solomon acted alone.
The TSA is seeing an increase in guns showing up at RDU checkpoints in recent weeks. And today, they plan to share how that is affecting travelers. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is at the airport this morning. And Kelsey, there is a legal way to travel by air with firearms.
Yes, Chris, there is, and we'll talk about that here in a moment. But you can see some folks here this morning getting all checked in ahead of their flights. TSA officials say they're finding more guns at the security checkpoint here at RDU. Guns are clearly listed as a prohibited item before you go through security. This morning, we're asking for an update on how many guns were found and how TSA is working to keep you safe. Just as a reminder, people can travel with guns, but there are a few rules. They must be unloaded and locked in a hard-sided case inside a checked bag. You also have to tell your airline that you have a gun at the check-in counter. We reported about firearms at TSA checkpoints back in January. So here's a number from 2024. North Carolina TSA officers found 250 firearms at airports statewide. That's 12 more than what was found the year before. Today, we'll ask TSA officials how many guns have been found here at RDU. So we're expecting to get that update within the next hour or so, and we'll be sure to tell you what we find out. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live at RDU.
Governing Wake County, the Board of Commissioners is set to vote on its budget today. Last month, the county manager presented the board with a $2.1 billion proposal. Now, since that proposal was made, the board says that it has received feedback from the public. Today's vote is scheduled for 5 p.m., and that is at the Wake County Justice Center.
The Raleigh City Council hammering out the budget this week. The council will hold a work session today before giving residents a chance to provide feedback. A public hearing scheduled for tomorrow night at 7 p.m. And a deadline today for Cumberland County residents. The County Tax Administration is letting people know that today is the last day to apply for a number of tax relief programs. This comes as the county recently saw increases in property tax values. Many of the programs impact seniors, veterans, and people with disabilities. Applications must be sent by mail or filed in person at the county tax office.
Starting today, Johnston County neighbors have a chance to make public comments on how their tax dollars are being spent. The Board of Commissioners is hosting a public hearing this morning to discuss the budget, and that meeting is scheduled to start at 10 a.m. Another meeting is tonight at 6 p.m., and another one is happening, next Monday at the same time. Commissioners anticipate adopting the budget by at least June 16th. Chapel Hill police are asking for your help to find a missing teenage girl. Please look at your screen. 15-year-old Caden Shelton was last seen Friday night near Formosa Lane. At the time, she was wearing a black shirt with pink lettering, black shorts, and a pink backpack. Anyone with information should call 911 or contact the Chapel Hill Police Department.
Back-to-back false alarms, from fireworks to a suspicious package. Durham's South Point Mall reopened after 2 days of scary situations. On Friday, fireworks were set off near the mall, sending people into a panic. And then on Saturday, a metal suitcase left in the bathroom at Nordstrom prompted a bomb squad response. Yesterday, the mall reopened, and shoppers tell us they're thankful these calls are taken seriously and refuse to allow this make them live in fear.
You can't stop things you enjoy doing, like coming to the mall, eating on Sundays, walking the mall.
We've reached out to Durham police asking several questions, including if the people involved in both incidents could face any charges. We have not heard back yet.
Happening today in Durham, the third annual Juneteenth flag raising ceremony, and that kicks off at 11:30 this morning outside the Durham County Courthouse. It's a meaningful tribute to Black freedom and history, featuring the Montford Point Marines and community leaders. All are welcome to join this powerful moment of unity and resemblance. Now, the soccer tournament gets started in Cary this week, and today we'll hear from several of the players ahead of their first games. WRAL's Laura Levine shows us what's on the line for this big game.
Wake Med Soccer Park is preparing to welcome huge crowds here this week. We know that once these gates open here behind me, it's game on and a $1 million prize on the line. Take a look at some of the action from previous years here. The event features music, food, games, exclusive meet and greets, celebrities, and 134 game-winning goals over 6 days. The TST generates about $9.2 million in economic impact for our area. TST part owner and San Antonio Spurs point guard Chris Paul tells us this year we can expect tons of competition.
It's just exciting to see with all the different fields and all the people showing up, and it's very festival style. And this year we'll have 134 matches, 64 teams, and it's nothing like seeing those teams score that last goal to know that they won $1 million.
It is certainly a big week ahead. A lot of people looking forward to also see the NC Courage on Wednesday. They took second place last year, but we'll see who takes it all this year. It all kicks off on Wednesday. Laura Levine, WRAL News in Cary.
Subscription spending. Turns out those monthly subscriptions add up fast. 5 on Your Side shows you how to cut the cost without cutting your favorite shows.
And we finally reach a break in storm chances as you're looking live at Lewisburg from the WRAL Live Camera Network. Meteorologist Chris Michaels will give us a look at the comfy stretch of weather you can expect.
.43 this morning, a little hazy sun leading to that eerie look at sunrise and sunset. Johnny out of Willow Spring with that shot sent to us through Report It. And you can see from North Hills just a little bit of that haze, but the sky does have a little bit of a clearer and cleaner look today as some of that smoke is being sent farther to the south. Right now, the air quality considered to be good. That according to the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality. They said it may reach moderate by tomorrow. Temperatures really nice. It feels so good out here. Temperatures about 60 to 65 degrees in and around the triangle, including areas like Raleigh at 62, Apex 61, Holly Springs at 64 degrees. Nice day for some exercise. Highs in the low 80s with low humidity. We'll show you when the stickiness makes a reappearance coming up in about 5 minutes.
All right, Chris, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We're seeing congestion easing on the Beltline this morning, which is a really good thing because this used to be a lot of yellow, but the real congestion that we're seeing is to the east of Raleigh right now. We're talking between Arundel Avenue there in Zebulon and Lizard Lick Road. If you're getting ready to head out the door this morning and you're taking Highway 64, you're looking at a 16-minute delay going in there. Just remember you have Highway 97 as an alternate route.
Happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, there's a large police presence outside a FedEx facility in Wisconsin. This is in an area called Menominee Falls. It's northwest of Milwaukee. Very few details coming in right now. I've been listening to some of the local reporters there from our affiliates and not getting a lot of information out of that. There are some evidence markers that we saw on the ground. There's an area that is taped off right now. The police have been inside and outside that facility, both and in a short period of time, I've been able to look at this live picture as well from right outside there. So there's police tape up. I've had a couple of choppers in that area trying to figure out what's going on there. But scarce details coming in right now as we monitor this situation in Wisconsin.
All right, Jeff, thank you. NBC's Nightly News is ushering in a new era tonight. Tom Llamas will make his debut as the anchor of the Nightly News program tonight at 6:30. Llamas began his career at NBC News 25 years ago. He has covered numerous world events to include Pope Francis's funeral, natural disasters, presidential campaigns, and the Olympics. A couple of weeks ago, WRAL's Dan Haggerty spoke with Llamas about his new role and what we can expect to see.
You will get information from us because we've been there, we've covered those stories, we know how to do it, and we believe in what we do. We're out there every day reporting the news without fear or favor, and we ask tough questions. We're tough, but we're fair, and I believe that's what separates NBC News from all media right now.
Watch NBC Nightly News with Tom Llamas weeknights at 6:30, immediately following WRAL News at 6.
Capitol Boulevard is one of the busiest roads in Raleigh, and local leaders have signed off on making part of it a toll road. But, bit of a plot twist, the state legislature wants to stop the plan. It's also more than a decade overdue for widening. Raleigh and Wake Forest leaders say the only way to afford the billion-dollar price tag is to turn part of Capitol Boulevard into a toll road. The State House recently voted to ban them from doing that. And you may wonder, is this a case of the legislature sticking up for working class families or even meddling into local decisions? Well, you can find more on that debate at WRAL.com.
If you want to save hundreds or even more than $1,000 a year, check your subscriptions. Consumer resource CNET just released its annual subscription survey. It found Americans spend more than $1,000 in subscription services. 5 on Your Side's Keely Arthur shares how you can save money without losing access to your favorite shows.
Don't waste your money.
This survey estimates that we spend $205 a year on subscriptions we don't even use. So here's what I want you to do to get a hold of everything. Do an audit of your bank and credit card accounts so you can see exactly what you're subscribed to and get a sense of how much you're paying. Next, consider using an app, something like Rocket Money, for example. This can help you track your payments and even cancel your subscriptions if that's what you want. And finally, if you want to keep all of your subscriptions, that's okay, but try this. It's called the rotation method.
So let's say Stars as an example. If that show is over on Stars, there's no need to continue paying for it. You can go ahead and cancel and sign up when that new season comes out. And in the meantime, if your show comes on Peacock, let's say, you can go ahead and sign up for Peacock and you're not paying for both Stars and Peacock at the same time.
Want some other ways to cut costs? Well, consider bundling subscription services with family members and look for discounts. Those are often given to students, teachers, or military families. Keely Arthur, 5 on Your Side.
Cumberland County is giving away free box fans starting today. You can sign up by visiting the Department of Social Services. Those interested must fall below 200% of the poverty level. And you must also have a child in your home under the age of 2 or someone over the age of 60 in their home who is sensitive to heat.
Netflix is giving us a sneak peek at some of the streaming platforms' most anticipated shows and movies. Douglas Hyde has more in the Hollywood Minute.
Everyone is talking about a comeback kid. Happy Gilmore. Happy Gilmore.
Yes, after nearly 30 years, Happy Gilmore is back in the swing of things. The first full trailer for Happy Gilmore 2 just dropped and shows some new and familiar faces. This time, Happy hits the course to earn money to put his daughter through ballet school. Happy Gilmore 2 tees off on July 25th.
We failed. But we need to be ready.
Are you ready for the 5th and final season of Stranger Things? Well, it won't be coming out all at once. Netflix is spreading out the release of the last 8 episodes over the holidays. The first batch streams around Thanksgiving, with more episodes arriving on Christmas Day and New Year's Eve. The action picks up in 1987, more than a year after the events of season 4.
It's just a murder. And I solve murders.
Benoit Blanc has a new murder to solve. Daniel Craig's Southern detective returns in Wake Up, Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. No word yet on the plot, but it's being teased as his most dangerous case yet. The third installment in the popular mystery franchise debuts on December 12th. In Hollywood, I'm Douglas Hyde.
Time for a look at what's trending. Chris is back after spending time with his little baby boy, Jordy.
Jordy.
Tell me about Jordy.
Jordy, he's a curious boy. He likes the fan on the ceiling. He likes to look at it and watch. But no, he's a cute boy, and we've been taking plenty of photos of him. This is him laying on daddy, having little dad-son time. And he always poses whenever he is asleep. And this silly photo you probably saw on my Facebook page.
I did see that.
I got one of those baby carriers, and I said, I kind of feel like an action hero wearing one of these.
Oh, well, he is so precious. And you just showed me more pictures on your phone. I have a behind-the-scenes, vantage point here at WRAL. But he is adorable. Congratulations to both of you guys.
Thank you.
You are wonderful parents already. And I was asking about Cha-Cha as well. And you said that she's okay.
That dog don't care about that boy. She'll sniff him, be like, and then walks away.
Oh, well, he is so cute, and I can't wait to meet him.
You will meet him very soon.
I need to meet him. All right, let's get outside to meteorologist Chris Michaels on the weather patio. A nice stretch of weather finally, Chris.
Finally, yeah, exactly. Over the past week or so, much of it has been spent with the risk for severe weather. In fact, 17 of 31 days in the month of May, we were outlooked for severe storms. That is not the case today. The outlook for severe weather is really geared toward the plains in the upper Midwest between now and Wednesday. High pressure over the eastern U.S. kind of acts like a defenseman, and it keeps that from getting close to us, again, at least over the course of the next 3 days. In the meantime, what high pressure does is it allows the air to sink. That's why we've got plenty of sunshine, hardly any clouds, and what it'll eventually do is lead to some warmer days. Still some cooler mornings, especially Tuesday and Wednesday mornings. The high temperatures are going to start to get back to where you would expect them to be in the month of June. 85 tomorrow, mid to upper 80s Wednesday and Thursday, and then near 90 by Friday. And most of those days, there's a lack of storms. Feels great outside right now across the board. Temperatures in the low to mid 60s. And the ticket to today is the fact that humidity levels are nice and low. That's going to be the case really from start to finish. So if you're taking the dog for a walk today, midday temperatures in the mid 70s, high temperatures in the low 80s, and then the warm up really starts to get its act together tomorrow. But even still, plenty of sunshine out there, and the humidity is manageable for your Tuesday. Starts to creep up a little bit Wednesday, and then especially Thursday and Friday. And with that in mind, you get that daily chance for scattered storms. Of course, it's Monday. Of course, we're looking ahead to the weekend, but it doesn't look like washouts either day. Kind of your typical June stuff where you see those scattered storms during the afternoon, at which point our high temperatures, they're back in the upper 80s and lower 90s. So if that's not your thing, all the more reason to get outside and enjoy today, guys.
All right. Thank you so much, Chris. Before we go to break, here are your winning lottery numbers.
And of course, we'll get you another check on traffic coming up in just a second.